Welcome. This book is for you, my friend. You who wish to seek for the meaning of life, the purpose of soul, who and what is God, the spiritual ways of living, what happens after death, etc. Many answers are given and hidden in wonderful messages received from the side of spirit. One such work is the teachings by Jesus and other celestial angels, received through the gift of automatic writing by a lawyer with the name of James E. Paget during the early years of the 20th century. This is a book for you, who is a seeker of truth. It is for you who ask me about my spiritual life. What is it exactly that I follow? A new church? A new cult? Or a religious movement? No, my friend. I discovered God's love, His touch of grace, and realized how deeply each one of us is loved by our Creator. The revelations of Jesus' teachings, as presented in the Paget messages, had a profound impact on me. It all started with a soulful prayer moments after a cry of deepest despair, aloneness, and lostness. It was then that my soul journey started, discovering something hidden in me, squashed by a strong mind and intellectual perception of living, despairing in the emptiness of a materialistically orientated world. I finally discovered the true waters of life, freely flowing into me when I asked, the living waters being God's divine love, His own substance, which He is willing to gift us with, provided we ask for it in the way Jesus teaches. Thus the door opened to my discovering the truth, as revealed by Jesus, who wrote the following through James Paget on August the 3rd, 1915. My truths are plain, and my teachings can be understood by the simple. Any religion which requires the exercise of the mental faculties to an extent greater than what is required in the ordinary affairs of life cannot be a true religion, because God has designed that all His children shall understand His truths without the necessity of having a highly developed mind. He that runs may understand my teachings, and it will not be necessary for any preacher or teacher to explain them. My language will explain itself. So let not your mind be troubled over the question as to whether only the mentally developed can understand what I may write. The truths are for all. I invite you, my dear friend, to read what I'm sharing here of my experiences in following this path, a path of discovery of soul and acknowledgement of the subtle transformative action that this love brings. A discovery of the relationship to our Creator, a discovery of love, so deep that I never dared to dream of it. I can write only of my experience and my understanding as I perceive them at this point in time. I encourage you to discover yours, as each one has a unique relationship to our Creator, our source of being, a unique path of discovery. Please also note that our perceptions change as we grow, and I'm only presenting here glimpses of my journey in its initial steps of finding solid footing upon this path. As you read, you will discover that I'm often using quotes for messages received through different mediums pertaining to the truths revealed by Jesus. After the initial work of Paget, several contemporary mediums are dedicated to bringing us more lessons of truth. Through their willingness and dedication to this path, they're able to reveal to us the encouragements and support, teachings and help of our celestial guides. The purpose of the quotes is to integrate some nuggets of truth and to give more authenticity and, if you will, authority to my writings. At the same time, the added reference next to the quote will provide you the opportunity to read the whole message and see the excerpt in its original context. I do encourage you to take time and further investigation of truth by going to the resources provided. The resources I used are the Paget Messages, the book Judas of Kerioth, and other contemporary material received over the years. Please research the websites newbirth.net and divinelovesanctuary.com. All information is available on these websites for further investigation. A special gratitude to my heavenly angels for always being there and for nudging me onward to start writing on this little book. My love and gratitude goes to Jesus, our beloved brother and master of the celestial heavens, for showing us the way. In deepest gratitude for the many blessings received, I greet you, my dear friend. Helge. January 15th, 2017. Our journey of life upon this earth plane is short and swift, but has a great bearing upon where we will continue our life in spirit. We have the gift of free will and are able to choose how we live our life and if and what spiritual path we pursue. Regarding the decision to follow the divine love path, Andrew, now an inhabitant of the celestial heavens and a disciple of Jesus as he was on earth, states, "You have a great advantage here on earth, and as you pray for this divine love, and as it influences your choices and your actions, you are creating for yourself a wonderful heritage of light, a wealth within your soul that will bring you to places of great light and harmony in spirit when the time comes, the end of a short life in the world of material. For the world of spirit, life is much, much longer, and you must consider this, how you are indeed building for the future of your existence. Open up to God in this way through His love is a swift road for those who have faith and dedication and knowledge, the yearning of their souls for this gift. And when one chooses the divine path, as a soul is transformed and redeemed by this love, there are unlimited possibilities. For God's love, this energy, this gift is unlimited. The potential of your soul to receive this gift is unlimited. Therefore, you walk a path for all eternity within this great light of God and His soul of love, and it is this love that will be your life force, that will enliven, transform, and carry you to places unimagined, to awarenesses deeper than any ocean, to a capacity to love greater than all the love combined of all the peoples on this earth, the capacity to love greater than all the love that is here at this moment in this world. With this excerpt of a message from Andrew, it is clear how important it is to receive and live with the divine love, even here on earth. For it is here that we build and determine our future in the world of spirit, where we leave behind our earthly body and travel on with our soul enveloped by our spirit body. It is not enough to simply know of this divine love. It must be active in our lives. It is important for us to learn what living with it on a daily basis means and how we can apply it practically. Daily prayers and communion with God are the cornerstone of this life upon our pathway of love divine. It is a gentle path, which does not need formalism or buildings or temples or preachers. No, it is simple. It is rather a way of life, a way of awakened living, a life of internal and eternal growth in love, the divine love, an opening to God's truth and an awareness of God's presence, a purification and transformation of soul. The support of our celestial guides and teachers help us to advance in our experiences of, and thus expression of living with, this divine love. Traversing the world of have and have-nots, of joy and pain, of harmony and abuse, of belonging and neglect, requires a strength that only the love in our soul can uphold. It requires repeated efforts not only in the truthful soul longings for this love, but also the expressing and demonstrating of this love through our actions in our daily lives. The gifts laid into our soul when God created it in the image of His soul, which will be enhanced through the presence of the divine love, will determine the actions we as a soul being desire to express. This creates a harmonious flow with God's laws of creation and His will. Peacefulness and an ever-increasing joy and happiness are indicators of a truthful soul existence harmonized with the relationship with our source, our Creator. Judas, through the medium age, tells us that Jesus, after having explained the availability of the Father's love and the new birth, he went one step further and showed that the acquisition of God's love forcibly must lead to more. The mortal must react. He cannot simply accrue this divine love in his soul, but he must make use of it. In order to carry out its transforming activity, divine love needs the mortal's cooperation, like the leaven needs warmth to ferment the batch of dough. If there is no warmth, divine love becomes inactive, like those yeast cells in the state of latent life. Thus, by living the divine love, loving as Jesus loves us and as He entreated us to love others, through the 11th commandment, we demonstrate acceptance of and gratitude for this wondrous gift, flowing in us and flowering to full glory in loving tribute to our Father. And so it will go on in ebb and flow, in the living and giving, inspired by the awareness of God's presence within us as love, the greatest attribute of His divinity, gifted to us upon our humble requests. It rests upon us as to how to apply our gifts and talents in the ever-growing companionship of our celestial friends who guide us to greater opportunities for service to God as disciples of love, ever attempting to express His will. This requires that we always to be open-hearted and open-minded, a challenge in our world, especially now, where we feel more and more the intensity of change upon us. Living in these unpredictable times, it seems we increasingly need to rely upon our soul perceptions. Quote, "These perceptions serve not only the purpose of acquiring spiritual knowledge, but serve also for a better orientation in real life, as you now live it here on earth. They serve exactly for recognizing and distinguishing actual opportunities, and for thus being able to take advantage of them and to avoid imminent dangers." End of quote. On the topic of living with divine love, I wish to share in the coming writings the practical aspects, or let us say, the integral parts, which make it a living experience rather than a mental acknowledgement. By reflecting upon the following aspects, we will expand the understanding of living with the divine love. Please note the order in which these topics are presented is not according to priority, but rather as it came to me during my writings. All aspects are important as we shift through these, with one or the other assuming greater or lesser importance at times. They are all very much interconnected and in constant flow and flux, as dynamic and active as life itself. Preceding these writings, I will briefly present you with the basic information of who we are as a being and our relationship to God, as revealed in the Paget messages. This is to benefit the reader who is not familiar with these teachings. With this, I wish you much love and joy, not only in reading these writings, but also as we press ahead, accompanied by the ever-guided presence of our heavenly support, of God's hand firmly upon us, as we grow, serve, and live in ever greater clarity of purpose and with an ever greater capacity to love.